Hey everybody, I'm back with another adventure for you. Today I'm headed up to Prairie Peak, northwest of Eugene, for a little nice lunchtime barbecue while I soak in the view from the top of the mountain. I've been to this area 3 times now over the past 6 months, and I finally have some good footage to share with you all. Prairie Peak sits high in the coast range and offers great views of the surrounding area. It's pretty nice today, so it should be a great view up on top. You've probably seen photos of this area before if you follow me on Instagram. I've only discovered it recently, but it's become one of my favorite local spots to explore. Holt Log Storage Pond below the peak is a great little stop, but today it's overrun with people due to the summer-like weather we're having this week. Here's a shot from back in the fall when I visited this area and I was the only rig out here. This area sits on BLM land and quickly turns into gravel roads after you pass the lake. You also begin to climb upwards as we will gain about 2,000 feet over the next 5 miles. Since I've passed the lake, I haven't seen any more vehicles. I'm feeling pretty lucky since this is a sunny Saturday and I'm expecting there to be a lot of people up here, but so far I've been pleasantly surprised with the absence of others. There are many spur roads off this main road through the area. You can actually keep working your way west from here and link up with the Siuslaw National Forest, and if you choose, you could travel all the way to the coast via the forest roads. About 3/4 of the way up to the top of the peak, you arrive at one of my favorite play areas. This big gravel quarry offers many cool challenges to test your rig's capability out on. The CRV is no rock crawler, but I still give it a go on the big gravel piles. There's just something about a big open gravel pit that just captivates the inner child to come out and to send the gravel flying. The rocky overlook really adds a great feature to this area as well, and you can't beat the view from up there. I was having an absolute blast working this line up this little gravel hill here. Full send all the way. Man, get a load of that hang time. I'm always pretty impressed when I can find spots like this that the CRV can tackle with ease. And of course, I can't do it just once, I have to do it multiple times to get the full enjoyment out of it. I didn't come out here to play in the gravel all day, so now I'm headed up the road above the quarry and closer to the summit. I have to stop on the edge and capture a couple shots first. This is such a cool rocky outcropping to sit up on. From this point, we're already high enough that you can look back and already see Eugene and Fern Ridge Reservoir, where I like to go out and have barbecues. This last quarter section of the trip to the top contains the most fun roads in the area. The road narrows and increases in incline as we make the last push up to the summit. The smooth gravel pack is now a bit more rutted out and much more entertaining to drive along. I began to see a series of radio transmission towers, so I know that I must be close to the top. These are all gated off, but you're still able to drive right up next to them and around them and access the wonderful views from up here on the top. In this shot, you can barely make out the silhouette of Fern Ridge Reservoir off in the distance, and just beyond that is Eugene. It really is the perfect day up here. I'm the only rig around. For early May, it's about 85 degrees out when it would normally be in the upper 60s, if that, and it's just a perfect sunshiny day to have a barbecue. I'm enjoying the view from here, but I'm going to cross over the top of the peak and get to another more unobstructed viewpoint and set up my camp for the afternoon and break out the barbecue. You might be able to tell now why they call this Prairie Peak. The top section is about a half-mile long and contains a couple nice open prairies just like this one. The rutted out dirt road through this meadow reminds me of an old-time wagon trail like the pioneers traveling on the Oregon Trail would have taken. Luckily, I'm just in search of a good spot to have a barbecue and I'm not crossing the country by covered wagon today. I've now made it to the prairie that I was searching for in hopes of setting up camp. Just over the bend here, there's a nice clearing where it'll be a perfect spot to set up my barbecue and relax in the afternoon sun. Man, check out this view. Way off in the distance, on a clear day, you can actually see the ocean from up here. It's a little clouded over today, so unfortunately that's not going to happen, but I can still enjoy the other prominent peaks in the Coast Range. It's also a scorcher out here today. Better put on some sunscreen so the ears don't burn. I've set up the DIY awning, put out a nice little folding camp chair, and now I'm cleaning off the barbecue to throw some dogs on. I love this little portable Weber barbecue that I have. It's great for taking on the road, and I like to take it camping as well. It's just small and packable, and just big enough that you can cook enough steak and enough hot dogs to feed a good crowd if you need to. And lunch is served. It's nothing gourmet, but a quick snack to keep me going while I'm doing all this filming is always a good thing. I've even decided to break out the mini drone since there's hardly any wind up here today and take a couple of aerial shots just to get a perspective of the area. After putting the drone away, I fell into a panic. I couldn't find the GoPro anywhere in or on the CRV. I had just been filming with it, so I knew it couldn't be too far away, but I needed to find it before someone else did. Luckily, I found it only a couple hundred yards away from where I was set up. It must have popped off due to the dust on the car that I neglected to wipe away before switching GoPro angles. Since I was all packed up and ready to go, I decided to explore the rest of the peak before heading down the mountain. Funny enough, once I returned home from this outing, I received a message from my Instagram friend, Burnt Trekkie, who drives a bright orange Subaru Crosstrek, that him and his family were headed on their way from Florence to spend the night up here. It's too bad that I missed them. I could have fired the barbecue back up and greeted them with some hot food on their arrival. Next time that I come out here, I'd really like to bring Megan with me so I can share the views with her. She works on the weekends, so I'm out here alone today. This spot really would be awesome to camp at sometime because it's so close to town and you really can't beat the views from your campsite. Now I'm headed back down from the top of the peak, but I've got a couple more fun areas that I didn't hit on the way up that I'd like to hit on the way down. This little spur trail off to the side here is an alternate route you can take, and it's definitely a little bit more rough than the regular route through here. Around this corner, there's a lot more ruts and a lot of big rocks down by the trees that you have to traverse in order to get back down to the main road. I'm going to give it a try in the CRV. I don't have a whole lot of clearance, but I'm pretty sure I can get through this area okay. As I get closer to the main road down here, I can start to see a lot more plastic shavings and undercarriage pieces, and that's not a very promising thing to see on a trail. However, I'm doing okay through here and I haven't really scraped on anything. This lower rocky section may prove to be a tad more difficult though. Traveling slow and patience was all I needed to get through here. Next time I'll probably try and go up it and see how that goes. This is the first time that I've been up here on a really clear day, and I'm really taking my time and enjoying the nice views before I get back down into the tree cover. As I head down this road here, I'll get back into the quarry and get to enjoy that overlook again. I just can't pass up on the opportunity to do a little bit more playing around while I'm here, so I decided to head back into the gravel area for a couple more passes. Alright, well now I'm actually headed back home and back down this hill. I'm going to try and see if the lake is a little less crowded, but I'm highly suspect of that since it's later in the afternoon and I'm only expecting there to be more people than there were earlier. And I was right, so I've headed to the store in Horton here to grab a quick drink. I've passed it a couple of times and been curious, so I'm going to stop here and see what they have. I've heard that they have pretty good maps and friendly service, so we'll see if they hold up to their name. Thanks for following along with this adventure. If you ever find yourself in this area, you should definitely check it out because it's totally worth a visit. Alright, whoa, who do we have here behind me? Alright, well that can only be Donald from @softroadingthewest in his Subaru Forester. Yeah, there he is. Both of us came out here in late January to film a little segment for Donald's channel that he called 5 Reasons Why He Loves His Subaru Forester. For his segment in particular, he was trying to focus on why he loved his Subaru for not being a Jeep, and so our goal was to try and get it stuck somewhere. And so we figured naturally the gravel pit would be a good area to try and see what he could conquer and what he couldn't conquer. His first attempt was this gravel pile here. You saw me blasting up it, but he's chosen to take the higher line, and it took him just a little bit more to get up there. I don't think I could do that in the CRV. He tried it at first with the traction control off and just couldn't quite get to the top. With traction control on, he can easily conquer this hill, so obviously he can still make it. Our next challenge for his rig was just a little bit more daunting. We decided to have him come and traverse some of these big rocks over in the open gravel pit over here. He easily cleared this and just kept going along his way. I was super impressed, and I have to give a big props to him and his rigs for driving through here. It was quickly looking like it wasn't going to happen to get Donald's rig stuck in here, so we decided to take some good pictures in this area instead. After taking a few photos and really enjoying the ledge there over the gravel pit, we decided to head up the hill and make it to the summit. It was a pretty remarkably clear day up here in January as well, but it was noticeably chillier than it was when I just came out here the other week. After a brief time spent soaking in the views up at the top, we were headed back down to air up and head home. Today nobody was on the bank of the lake because it was pretty chilly, so we stopped and aired up there and enjoyed the view while we could. I also stopped to catch a cool view of this runoff waterfall that comes right out of the lake here. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to me here on YouTube and on Instagram to stay updated with more of my upcoming adventures. I'd also like to give a big shout out to Donald at softroadingthewest for all that he does on his channel and on his Instagram, keeping the soft-roading community connected. Make sure to follow him here and on Instagram as well. Thanks everybody, see you next time.